Hey guys, I'd just like to show you a replay of a game that I just had. I'll show you from my perspective. And I think this is a good example of how to defend against the proxy hatch. So I'll play it on 2 times speed just at the very beginning, because there's not a whole lot going on here that's unexpected or unconventional. Now the first inkling I get that something might be up. This is against a 3000 Zerg, by the way. High platinum kind of Zerg. The first inkling I get something might be up is when I see this drone. Obviously drone scouts are unusual and it was heading back to the hatchery area, so I was a little bit suspicious. But the key thing here is you need to have a proportionate reaction. You can't overreact and you can't underreact, okay? Now the first thing is, if you see that it is a proxy hatch, we're going to scout as soon as we finish the barracks. We're going to go down and have a look.
SCV ready.
Oh, I should have rallied it straight down. Okay, proxy hatch, don't go Reaper, go Reactor, because you're going to need a lot of Marines out. And this is also the crucial thing, don't forget to scout. You still want to send your barracks SCV up to scout. And the key thing here, and also I'm going to expand at this stage, but then take a fast second gas behind it. Okay. Now the reason you want a SCV scout is that there's two different types.
Complete.
There's 2 different types of proxy hatch. There's an all-in committed kind of one base at home where he's going to spine rush you, etc. And then there's a more macro-oriented. So I see he's expanded, and I actually saw in the minimap a drone go out to the 3rd.
Add-on.
So if he's expanding behind it, it's not that committed. He's just trying to slow you down. So then you can actually build a bunker on the low ground. Okay, so you want to get a bunker down before the hatchery finishes. And actually, even if you can get 2 down, that's even ideal. 1 at the bottom side, 1 at the top side, but 1 will do. And so I see he's taken 3 bases behind it, which means he's not going to have a lot of fast units. He's not going to have like roaches coming in. It's not going to be that committed. Okay, so we just want to get the bunker down and attack. Now what he's going to do is try to pop queens, spread creep, and slow down your expansion. Okay, so I tried to go after that drone. I actually popped the Marines out on the wrong side here. I could have got it. So he's gonna build a spine crawler with that. So yeah, you just want to make sure that you're not losing your units here.
This better be good.
So I've expanded behind it. I've got a factory coming.
SCV ready.
And I actually forget now on the new patch you can build a cyclone without a tech lab. So I should have built a cyclone immediately. This is a mistake. So go for a tech lab. And what you'd normally do is build 1 tank. Okay. If it's a spine crawler rush, which if this was to break and he was to bring a spine crawler to try to kill these and then flood lings in, you just want to have a tank back here, or a tank over here that can hit. And then this is how you defend it. If it's spine crawler, you need to get a tank out, and then you need to get a Viking so you can deny vision from the overlords. And then you go into a Banshee, maybe, and a Raven, so that you can clean up the creep without having to expend a lot of scans. But in this case, just a Cyclone is going to be enough, so I actually unnecessarily delay it. But you can see that he doesn't have a lot of units, and that's because he went for 3 bases behind it. Yeah, so this is just to slow me down.
Add-on complete.
Now you've got to be very careful here. When the broodlings spawn, I'm pulling my SCV and other Marine away so that they don't die to the broodlings. Okay, because the broodlings do a lot of damage, so he's going after the bunker here. So after the broodlings die, then you can come down, and fortunately I get the repair off, but it doesn't actually matter too much. We've actually got enough Marines here. This is why reactor first is very important. Now we can actually go and kill the queens here, who've already taken a fair bit of damage. So I don't micro as well as I could, but good enough. So the queens are not going to be able to spread any more creep. And I've got a cyclone. Now what I'm going to do is go into a battle cruiser behind
Mineral
this.
field depleted.
Now, yeah, I missed micro there a little bit. A cyclone outranges.
SCV ready.
With the lock on, it's within range, but you can move it back and maintain just enough vision and range to kill the
complete.
The spine, as you see here. Get a lock on, back off. Now what the Zergs will try to do is
SCV ready.
they'll try to expend the creep as much as they can, like to spread the creep tumors out, so you have to spend as many scans as possible. So this is not the best scan, but it's good enough. I actually end up missing one down here in the left corner, which I discover later, which is frustrating. But that's good enough, because with one scan we clear the low ground. And so I could have gone for a Raven, but I want a fast BC here, because I know he's gone 3 base. He's probably droning up like crazy behind it. And this is the other thing. You get one tank out, but then what you want to do is you want to swap onto a reactor and go into building some Hellions, because you're not going to have a wall off here, especially if the creep slows down the wall off, and he could go for a link flood behind it. So you want to make sure that you still have some Hellions as well, so you can go and punish droning. That was my scouting SCV. I'm going to pull it back now. So we have cleared enough creep to get this down, and yeah, we want to be building Hellions, because we've got a BC which we'll be able to deal with roaches anyway. Going for 3rd CC, and we're going to get a 2nd factory so we can get blue flame and maybe build some cyclones as well.
Ready to raise some hell.
So we should be coming out of this actually pretty okay. We didn't take very much damage. We didn't delay our 2nd CC very much. We built it on location, so we got the mules. But yeah, this is when I noticed that I missed a creep tumor, which is very annoying.
Ready.
I think it actually pays at some stage to build a Raven if they've got a lot of creep, because it's very expensive having a scan, and he's going to keep spreading the tumors. So now I've taken 4 out on the map, and I've left 2 at home, and I've got more building. So I just want to see now what you're looking for is how many drones. There's not that many drones on the 3rd, and you can see that he's built some links here, and here I see he's built a lot of links. Okay, so obviously he's going for a link flood. So I'm going to jump that in, and we want to go for a very fast wall off here, because he's probably going to counterattack. Okay, so kill the queen first, so it can't transfuse the spore. That's very important.
ready.
So he is mining off 3 bases, so we still have a fair bit of work to do. But yeah, we've got the spore. We can deny mining on this base. We can keep getting some damage. We're going to get another spore there for free.
Ready.
So yeah, luckily I was looking here. So this is the counterattack, it's going to do nothing, and we've got a lot of Hellions here, and we're going to get a lot of Hellions for free. So that's very nice. Going to kill the gases.
Research.
We want to put down an engineering bay whenever you go into BC, so you can build turrets. So when you jump out, you don't want the corruptors to be able to chase you in. So that's important. And I'm getting blue flame here, I think, or have I already got blue flame? Okay, yeah, he's well defended on the natural, so I'm just gonna camp this here and go hit the 3rd. Got Yamato done, so I'll get rid of that queen. So yeah, I see he's continued to build drones like crazy, but he's not really going to have a lot of units at this stage. So get rid of the lings, and we're going to be able to clear out this entire base. Sweet. And this is a lot to deal with. He's still got to worry about the BC in the main. So we can clear out the entire drone line, and actually we can actually get that queen because it's very low as well, which is nice. Okay, so I see the Hydra response. Okay, I'm gonna jump that out. Okay, this is important too. Don't get greedy and think, oh, I really, that hatchery's super low. I would really like to get it. It's very easy to be greedy, but remember, if it's low, it takes a very long time to heal, especially because he doesn't have very many queens. He's going to need the transfuse energy. So you'll be able to kill it later. It's much more important to not throw away a BC unnecessarily. Okay. Yeah. So I see the Hydra response. He's still got some creep out there in the northwest, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, so I see he's still building drones, right?
Complete.
So he's just drone, and the advantage of that is, you continue to press your army supply advantage, attack advantage. and get good trades. My money, I'm floating a bit of money. I should really be
Mineral
building
field
stem
depleted.
and 5 racks behind this and taking a 4th. So that's a mistake.
SCV ready.
But we're in a very comfortable position here. We're going to 3 base economy.
SCV ready.
And because I see that he's re-droning, I know he's not going to have that many
Add-on
units.
complete.
So I'm going to add some tanks.
SCV
Hellion,
ready.
Blue Flame Hellions also are very good, actually, or not very good, but they're quite good against
SCV ready.
Hydras, which are light, so the bonus damage of the Blue Flame applies. And we're going to add some Cyclones as well, which will also be good against Corruptors, which you can only imagine are on the way. Okay, so yeah, so see, he hasn't got very much because he's been spending all his money rejoining. Okay, so just keep the BCs away from the spores.
Armed and ready.
We've got a few Marines and extra TvS. So this is really nice. Spore positioning is not enough to okay. Now we put the Marines onto the spores.
Go, go, go.
Pull the tank across. And this game's looking pretty over.
I'm in a
Okay, has got a few Hydras there, but yeah, the Hydras, I've got that tank there. And with the Hellions, they're just not going to deal with this many BCs. So I see there is a Spire, but he just doesn't have enough money, enough Corruptors. And even if he does, we've got a few Cyclones there that can help out. So yeah, so he taps out at this point. So if we look at the units lost, 8,000 resources to 2,000. You know, this hatchery is very, very weak, or the layer is very, very weak. Yeah, he's down to just 2 Hydras, hasn't got a lot of money. I'm floating a lot of money. Yeah, I mean, I'm still in a micro-intensive game. What I have pointed out in the past, I mean, obviously you want to spend all your money, but the most important thing is you continue to build bases and workers at all times. Because ultimately, like, if you slip on your production and adding production, you can catch that up. Like, I could always now just go and drop 10 barracks and build 10 barracks at once, right? And then have monstrous production. So you can actually catch up. And in this case, you know, I don't need the units. I'm winning the game anyway, so that's why I'm a bit more relaxed about it. But yeah, ideally you want to be spending your money adding a lot of production. I could have had stim. I could have had, you know, 20 Marines coming across. To support as well, which would have been very helpful. If he, you know, if he pops 10 Corruptors here, it's you know, the game's not completely over. So yeah. Anyway, I thought that was quite an instructive game. So yeah, the crucial thing, make sure you scout so you know what you're dealing with. Okay, so from my opponent's perspective, just very briefly. So you can see he's taking, I think, you know, 4 bases before he takes gas. I actually could have scattered the gases. Okay. So yeah, so this is just designed to slow me down. Spread some creep, not to kill me, just to give him a very nice advantage. But you see that we actually have an economic advantage right now. So ideally, if you can get a bunker here as well, you don't quite have enough money, so that he can't just run the units away and start spreading creep. It would be nice to get a bunker here as well. But yeah, again, if he's 1-basing, you're not going to be able to hold the low ground. So if you build this bunker, you're just going to lose it. You're going to lose the units. He's going to have too much DPS. He'll build a bunch of lings, surround it, kill it, and you just don't have enough units. So what you want to do is build a bunker here, okay? Get a factory as fast as you can. You can even delay your expansion to get a faster second gas. And then you want to get a tank out, basically, because he's going to try to push the creep up here and use spines to break these. So you need to have bunkers to stop him doing that. You need to have SCVs repairing, maybe even wall off with a second line of depots. So maybe, you know, you build like another depot here or another barracks in a bunker. And basically, you need to hold the front until you get a tank which can clear out the spines, and then you get, say, a Banshee or a Viking behind it. A Viking to deny vision, a Banshee can then clear it up, and I like to get a Raven to help clear out the creep while taking like 3 bases. And the thing is, you don't need to panic in that case about being stuck on one base for a long time, because his attack is very committed, so he's on one base for one time. But you can't respond like that if he's taking 3 bases behind it, because then you'll just get too far behind. It's an overreaction. So see, he's spreading the creep tumors out as far as he can.
Under attack.
You can see he's got the same number of drones as me. He's mining now off 2 to 3 bases. So we are starting to fall behind in terms of economy.
The hive cluster is under attack.
But his tech is delayed, especially because he builds a lot of links. Yeah, it's frustrating I didn't get all the creep tumors with that scan, because yeah, he can just keep spreading the creep, which is very annoying. So he still doesn't have link speed. Now I did get a bit lucky here, in that I moved out with 4 of my Hellions before I had a wall off. I had 2, I believe, at home. But he could have done quite a lot of damage with this link flood if he'd committed to it. He pulled them back to deal with the Hellion harass. You can see he's right outside my natural. And at the moment, if you look at the state of my natural, I only have 2. I have 2 Hellions here, although I do have the battle cruiser, but I would rather be using that for harassment. So if he had run that many lings in, I would have sustained quite a lot of damage. He of course would have taken some damage as well, more damage as well. But I think that would have been worse for me. But he pulled them back here. He pulled them back here, and he probably shouldn't have. But yeah, he's unprepared for the VC.
The hive cluster is under attack. Our voltage are under attack.
But you know, like, VCs are nice, but yeah, that was a nice wall off to defend the counterattack. But he goes Spire, builds a bunch of spores, keeps building drones. A lot of the time, you're still not winning the game. So you murder that queen. But yeah, this is where the multi-prong is important. Hellions can actually be very good, because he's going to go for you know, he's losing a lot of queens to the VC and has to send queens to the VC. He's actually down to just 1 queen now.
The hive cluster is under attack.
So he's down to 30 drones, but he just keeps remaking them. His corruptors are slow because he just doesn't have the money. Look, his balance is very, very low. And he has to deal with the Hellions as well. So yeah, he's got 5 Hydras, 1 Queen. It's not enough.
Is under attack.
So he's rebuilt to 46 drones, so that's where all his money's gone. This is why, as a Terran, when you have the advantage, you have to just keep attacking, because if you kill a bunch of workers and then you just sit back and go, oh, I've dealt a lot of damage, the Zerg can just remake like 40 drones, you know. So we knocked him. He's already back to 46 drones from like 25 or something only a minute ago. So you have to keep doing follow-up attacks, because if they keep droning like he did here, then they're just not going to have enough units to hold the follow-up attack. So that's very important. So he's still trying to macro when what he needs is corruptors, not another base. So yeah, to try to fight out of range of the spores. But yeah, we now have the cyclones, which will also be helpful in dealing with the corruptors when they pop out. So yeah, this was a pretty clean game. I was very happy with how I performed. APM 142, which is decent, but you know, I can sometimes, when I play my best, get up to 170 these days. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Pretty fun game, and hopefully instructive as well. See you next time. Cheers.